So this is a demonstration of the IronSyte viewer program. This is the software that would be installed at the mine office, so you could watch the fleet working after the IronSyte hardware had been installed on the fleet out in the field. This particular fleet, or this drop-down menu here, this would be the units that would be monitored. So you could pick any particular unit. This one is a 993K, and you could follow that unit and zoom in with your scroll button on your mouse. Now we're looking at L0316 working. You can see real time here is at 3:34 p.m. and this is showing out in the field at 3:29. So you're about 5 minutes delayed from what's actually going on out in the field. Your event bar down here, what we show is the icon on the machine. If it's green, that means the machine's in production. Red would mean that it's in idle, and gray would be an engine off period. So if you look at the event status bar down here on the bottom, this is from the beginning of today's shift at 6 a.m. through the current time of 3:35. And you can see that this represents how much of the time this particular L0316 has been in production, was all the green, and then idle is red, and this is engine off. So it gives you a quick reference, a visual reference of how productive that machine has been today. One of the things you can do then with that particular, any of these machines, is you can look at the cycles. It'll draw the cycles of where that machine worked, and then you can drag this slider back and replay the entire shift from the beginning. So here we are at 6 o'clock this morning, and you can fast forward and watch the fleet working. Slow it down to regular time here. If you want to pick a truck, we'll look at truck 893. So now you've selected 893. We'll follow 893, and you have the same information down here at the bottom with your event status bar, where green is production, red is idle, and gray is engine off time. So you can look at where that truck has cycled for the day. Right now he's going into backing into dump. When he dumps, the icon will turn white, as this truck over here is, and it'll record your load count here. It'll change from 36 to 37. Same information for a dozer. You can draw the cycles for 1269. Instead of a load count for dozers, we do a push count, and you can customize this push count depending on how far you want a particular push distance to count as a load. Go to another job now, and I'd like to demonstrate our tire pressure monitoring feature. So here you have the same layout. You can fast forward the job. We're looking at, we took a sheet from history, so you can go back and you can get data from any particular day, any day back in history. We store all the information for you to access. So we're going back and we're looking at a full 24-hour period of history here. And let's pick this truck 24512. We'll follow him. Look at his cycles. Slow it down to regular time now. So you can see he's entering the load area here with the shovel. It's a BE shovel, 49501. He's coming back to get loaded. And this is our tire pressure option. So if you click on the tire pressure icon, you can see the current pressures at this particular time right here. We've got each one of the tire pressures for the left front, right rear inner, right rear outer, left rear inner, left rear outer, all color coded for each tire. So there's an external tire pressure sensor placed at each wheel position on the valve stem, and it's continuously reading that tire pressure and radioing that pressure to our IronSyte central unit located on the machine. That information is bundled up in a data packet and sent along with the other information that we're reading on the machine and processed, and then returned in this type of a graphical format for you to see. And what you could see here from this particular unit is that the right front tire was below the threshold here. They've got it at it's reading 104. They'd like to keep that pressure a little bit higher, so we've set that limitation here. And what's happened is that once it falls into that level, we'll send a tire pressure alert out to the tire man's smartphone on the job. And he's come here and he's pulled this guy over 24,512, pulled him out, and you can see this idle time right here. He's taken him off to the ready line, taken the sensor off, and filled it back up to 117 psi. So this is just an example of how anytime a tire pressure falls below a preset limit that we can program in according to your specifications, the system will automatically generate a tire pressure alert that can be texted or emailed out to your maintenance or tire man right on the job, so he knows which tires need attention. And finally, we'd just like to look at some of the reporting capabilities of the program. Here's the same job we were looking at before with the tire pressure information. So if we go to truck 24,512, draw his cycles, and then let's look at some of the reports that are included with just the standard reporting package that we offer. Here's 24,512 for a 24-hour period, scheduled hours, productive utilization of scheduled hours, average minutes worked per hour, engine hours as a percent of scheduled hours, productive utilization of engine hours. There's your pie chart with production, idle time, and engine off time. And then here's a recreation of the event status bar that you saw on the main page of the IronSyte viewer program. Next page we break down into top 10 production events, top 10 idling events, and top 10 engine off events. So these are useful in terms of process improvement, looking at longer idling events and engine off events. Both of these help greatly manage fleet post-start time and pre-stop time, coming off of the ready line and coming back into the ready line at the end of the shift. And also on the trucks, this is a distribution of load counts by hour, and then also you have a summary, a detailed report of the actual cycle times, start and end time of the cycles, total distance traveled, total cycle time, and that's broken down into the amount of that's production and idle time.